Well, hello. I suppose you're wondering why we're soaking our feet.
Whoa!
The hills are alive with the sound of music. I'm so tempted to drink my last beer.
For Labor Day weekend, my boyfriend Sean and I headed up to the northern part of the White Mountains, specifically hiking the Kilkenny Ridge Trail, to Rogers Ledge, Unknown Pond, Mount Cabot, the Bulge, and the Horn. The trail we were hiking was also part of the Cohos Trail, which is a 162-mile trail going through northern New Hampshire up to the Canadian border. We hiked about 23 miles total with 5,000 feet of elevation gain, but we split it up into 2 nights and 3 days, which made the hike very manageable. The trail began at a beach on South Pond in Stark, New Hampshire. From here, it was a 4.1-mile hike to Rogers Ledge. The trail here didn't seem very heavily used, and it was very grown in spots. The only people we passed were another couple who were day hiking. We arrived at Rogers Ledge with plenty of time to spare, so we continued down about a half mile to the tent site where we set up camp. We set up our tent in a secluded tent site that had its own fire pit. We also gathered some firewood to build a fire later. After that, we had time to hike back up to Rogers Ledge to cook dinner and watch the sunset.
That looks so amazing.
We hiked back to camp in the dark and built a small fire for a peaceful end to an awesome day.
I'm so tempted to drink my last beer.
After breakfast the next morning, we set off for a 2-mile hike to Unknown Pond tent site. On the way, we would pass many hikers who had just come from there. Evidently, it is a very popular place to camp with limited spots, and many people had to stealth camp wherever they could find. We did manage to get an actual site as someone had just left. After setting up camp and eating lunch, we hiked on toward the Bulge.
For the bait.
Next, we continued on to Mount Cabot, my 4th New Hampshire 4,000 footer. We saved the Horn for last. By this point, we had both worked up quite the appetite, so we hiked back to our campsite and made a delicious pasta dinner. On our last day, we gathered water at Unknown Pond and began our 7-mile hike back to the car.
Looks like it has eyes on top of its head.
It's probably to try and scare away predators.
When we arrived back at the beach, the weather was warm enough to soak our feet in the water and for me to go for a swim. Then we sat by the beach and celebrated the end of our trip with some beverages.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
This was an amazing trip, and I was especially impressed by Rogers Ledge. The views there were among the best I have seen, and the tent site was great. This trip would be perfect for people new to backpacking because it wasn't overly strenuous. It also felt secluded enough for a romantic getaway. Thank you for watching. My next backpacking adventure is being planned for early October. In the meantime, I hope you'll subscribe and join me for some videos about some of the gear I've been using. I'll release a new video each Monday. Happy trails!